Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chitalayam. The question we're going to be answering today is when you're in a conflict and you're having a debate, a discussion, an argument with someone, when should you stick to your side and continue arguing for what you're talking about versus switching over to the other side and agreeing with your agreeing with the other person. So let's talk about that.
This is actually a very good question. I I would say really depends on your goal, why you're fighting. If you're fighting because you want to win, then of course, like that's not the time to switch. If you're fighting because the other side, like if other side does win, then you're losing because there's a conflict of interest, then of course you can't really
It
switch.
also depends on who you're fighting, right? Like if you're fighting your younger brother, you never give up. You always beat them into submission. You don't tolerate dissent from them.
Thank you, older brother. Uh,
But what if they're right? Like what if you're hearing good
Younger
arguments from
brothers
their
are never
side?
right. That's not a thing.
Age is just a number. That doesn't necessarily inhibit their knowledge or their capacity to have a strong argument or be on the right side of something. So, if you're hearing really good logic from the other side and it's not contradictory to your views, adding value to what you know, maybe you're learning things you didn't know before, and you see the merit to the other side is not harming you, then maybe it is good to switch or think of compromise as well, because compromise is the best solution for more people, which we'll talk more about in upcoming videos. But at that point, like, why keep beating a dead horse? Like, if you get the point, like, switch over.
I hear what you're saying, but it makes no sense in the context of fight with a younger brother. You just do not concede.
I am a younger sibling, and therefore what I'm saying makes complete sense. You did not need to always put your
uh,
younger siblings in the wrong.
yeah, and
Yeah, younger siblings
sometimes
are always wrong, except when they agree with their older siblings. I'm pretty sure the audience agrees with me on this.
yeah, let's just both agree that even though I am the younger brother, I am taller than Deepak.
Oh,
That was a
snap!
cheap shot, man. That was a cheap shot.
That was like the opposite of a pathos argument. You just made him feel bad. That's ad hominem, actually.
So anyway, over here, there are times that as Deepak said, we really should stick to our guns. Yes, compromising is good sometimes. Seeing their
Although if
angle,
it's with your younger
being the good
brothers,
person
don't
is
use
good,
actual guns.
of course. So the times when it really is important is like, say, for example, LGBTQ, the fights for that, say 50 years ago, 100 years ago, even sometime even like sometime back than that, they were a problem. But then not everybody was agreeing to it, and people still fought for it, and now it's become a really big thing that like even in a small channel like this, we actually made a video on LGBTQ as well. And so just because they're not considered right by the majority, by the popularity, doesn't mean it's not right at all.
I beg to differ.
So if you go that far back, I would argue that in the Roman Empire, they beheaded people for being gay. And they said there was this famous this sort of war cry of sorts, which is Deus vult, God wills it. They would say that and they would behead people. If I lived in the Roman Empire and I were gay, I would keep quiet about it and not make noise.
Sure, but you have the choice to not be quiet.
You bring up an important point.
Self-preservation comes first.
You bring up a good point, Deepak. Sometimes it's good to talk about conflict. Sometimes, for your own sake, it might be better to just not talk about conflicts that you have. And if you have to pick a side of always avoiding
Always
conflict and
pick the
always
side
hiding
that
it,
doesn't end up with your head getting chopped off. I think that's a good rule to live by.
well, maybe in some situations it's beneficial to be talking about all your conflicts. So,
True.
I think we should have a debate about which side might be useful tomorrow.
Okay, see you then.
See you then.
Oh, you're still here? Well, thanks for getting to the end of the video. Hey, while you're still here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get new updates when we post videos. Also, make sure to check out these equally exciting videos as well. Have you pressed it yet? Come on, you have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, press it now.